Hey guys, welcome. This is fakepigskin.com. Uh, Professor Bush here. Check out my classroom, by the way. This is NFL Week 1 Snap Report. And this is 61 of my fun metrics, figures, tables, graphs. And I've got this article that we're going to publish here, but I wanted to go ahead and put a video audio version of it so you can hear me talk a little bit, and probably will cover things differently than the article covers. Article's pretty much short, probably not enough detail, and this is probably too much for what you're looking at. So let's continue. Uh, this is uh, an amazing hell of a figure, right? Uh, I produce team average of time of possession in seconds. I've got data that suggests that teams that have different levels of possessional time tend to rush more or less depending on that. Probably you should go back to my classroom if you want to review that, one of those lessons. Somewhere in that data, I've probably got my 100 lessons. I've got it somewhere, and I'm not going to spoil it for you now. I also calculate time of possession per quarter. Usually I don't need that, but we had 2 overtime. So you get a possessional time that has overtime, and you'll, if you don't divide it by the quarter, which would be 5, then you will kind of misalign some of the data. So I then scaled that tops per quarter, or TOP per Q, against league average, and I generated scaled top per Q, and of course the highest level of time of possession per quarter were shown in green, and the teams that were in the minus produced below league average there. So there's probably some issues. If you look at some of the teams that were, I've colorized red, other than Tampa Bay and Seattle, some of these guys weren't too strong in their performance, and you can take a look at that. I also calculated yards per point scored, actual points on the scoreboard. How many yards did it take to score? So you can see some teams did fairly well, and the worst team, of course, was Green Bay. They did a lot of yards but didn't score any points. Atlanta was right there, so they were kind of sad as well. The Giants, Jacksonville, you can see some of the sad teams on that metric. And then I scaled that to league average, and anything above were actually, I colorized wrong. I should have colorized the lower ones in red, and these would have been the best. So New Orleans was the best. Green Bay was the worst. What a debacle of a game there. And so then I mix a ratio of yards per point versus time of possession here. So you get this balance of efficiency, scoring yards, and time of possession, and I generate something called the efficiency metrics. And of course, New Orleans at 124 on a scale of 120. And then Atlanta, the Giants, and Green Bay were 0. So that's awful bad, awful bad. So be concerned about teams and players from teams that did bad first week. So your job is to use, and I've got some other data coming, What's going to be different this week, or is anything going to be different? There's the issue, right? We know what happened last week. It's concrete. We see it now. In the future, gets awful hazy sometimes, and that's the hardest things, is to think about uncertainty and probability, and decisions under uncertainty is some of the hardest things we do when we're in fantasy football, right? It's basically another name for predicting the future, right? And it takes years of working with uncertainty to try to at least get a process to approach that. And as a biologist, a scientist, I developed that on, in my other career. So I've applied that to fantasy. And so that's why in some ways I seem number centric, but all numbers have to have a place, a time, a situation. So it's not just, slave to the numbers, but going with your gut and figuring that out, you're probably more wrong than going with numbers. I think there's a lot of literature that would support that. So we can have that debate another time. So this is the grand scheme of numbers. So I try to use this efficiency number to boil it all down. You're saying, well, why did you even show us this? Because some people like to know where I get this stuff, right? If I just gave you efficiency, you'd be like, oh, where'd that come from? Now you know it came from here, which came from here, which came from there, so forth. So you can at least see where I came up with these numbers and scale. Purple is high and yellow is poor. Just to let you know, I drafted Matt Ryan in a lot of my redraft. Boy, I was not pleased to see that kind of metric in a game they should have done much better in. So I had concerns. Buffalo was below Tennessee. My hopes were certainly dashed by some of these players in here. Washington, I thought, would be doing better. New England was actually doing better than I thought they would. At a 47, I guess I was really down on. But anyway, we got first week, lots of things yet to play out. So this is scoring efficiency versus basically the scored points per yard and time efficiency. Top. And we see New Orleans to Green Bay, Atlanta, and the Giants were 0. Sad. And I kind of color-coded to see. Obviously, I'm really concerned here. Somewhat concerned there. Not so concerned and actually kind of pleased here. Okay. And New Orleans is so skewed out, I would not expect that. I call that a giraffe. Notice its head is way above the rest. So it probably should have been about right there. Okay. And it's here. So that's probably way out of hand. And there's probably, these numbers should have been closer to here. So they were skewed the other way. So hopefully things will level out as we continue to look at this data. I then turned to the teams and the positions and did scoring by snaps. Okay, I like to kind of mess with that metric, basically PPR scoring. So Kansas City top at 100 and scaled was at 47. So they were 47 times better than league average, where Green Bay was 45 times worse than league average. And notice Atlanta was down there too. And there's some that, Tennessee, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New England, the Chargers, and Washington are on my concern list. Okay. I'm probably over optimistic by Kansas City, Seattle, Arizona, the Rams, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, San Francisco, the Raiders. Uh, so I'm probably over optimistic about their quarterbacks. But here's the data, right? And I think I made a graph of it. Yeah. So you can see the scale and the intensity. So you can see really Rodgers and Ryan really down here in the dumps, and you can see some of the better quarterbacks from week one just in a scale, right? In a scale. So you can kind of see if you wanted to compare Joe Burrow, which was pretty much average, better here, but much worse there. So it gives you scalability, I think, that for you to visualize in some of your thinking about week two. Running backs, Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia, especially Detroit, 73, that's probably way off here. Notice KC, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, not good. Buffalo, the Saquon Barkley, wow. That's tough, you guys. And I bought him in a few places, not many, but some. So that's sad. Makes my heart sad to see those metrics. So again, we got a giraffe situation going by Detroit. It's hard to imagine they stay so much above the league here, probably closer to 45 or 50 times versus 75 times. Here's the world of average right in here, and here's the world of concern. And here's some that I'm really concerned about their running backs here. So just be aware of that. Tight ends, Seattle, very surprised. New Orleans, I'm surprised. Cleveland, I knew they were there, but, Hooper and Njoku, I thought they would cut each other a little bit. But if you look at the whole tight end, not bad. Unfortunately, the pie is split. Okay, so be aware. Hawkinson, wow. So he was probably the top of the top. Here's Kelsey. Waller. So Hawkinson put on a show, which is good. So in my waiver wire, I guess if I was streaming, I might look in this range. Some of these guys, you won't get Hawkinson, but maybe there's something there. Maybe. And probably Gesicki really crapped the bed, no offense. Andrews, Rutrow. The inconsistency is never my friend. Now, the Giants have lost Ingram for a while, so that could explain that. I was hoping Doyle, Mo Alley Cox would do better in Indianapolis, so I'm watching. Wide receivers, Arizona and the Chargers set the bar up very high versus the league. Some other good ones, Houston, the Jets, Rams, Dallas, New Orleans. What a surprise, New Orleans. The Giants did good on their wide receivers. Atlanta, what the? New England, Rutrow. Miami, that's not good. Maybe Fuller will help them. Buffalo, wow, that's bad. Quarterback was not good compared to what we expected, right? Put that in the context. So got concerns here. Really loving this. These do seem high. So I don't expect Murray and Herbert to be so much higher. So just step back a little bit. People are going to go a little crazy. If you wanted to trade out some of these if somebody has a viable quarterback or something. Murray is pretty high week one. So was Herbert. Maybe get Dak or somebody that might improve. I don't know. That's the kind of situation that I use this metrics to try to think about some trades and whatnot. Okay, so the next 32 slides, I'm just going to jauntily go through the team, the position, the player snaps, and the percentage of the position, right? So, for instance, Connor and Edmonds was 54-46, so 1A, 1B. Max Williams got the main targets there. AJ Green got a lot of targets but didn't score. Kurt really was super efficient in what he did. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you go overboard on Kurt, just realize Green was out there a lot and got a lot of snaps too. And that's going to cost somebody something down the road. Matt Ryan, looks like Davis is the show, but Kevin Smith is the backup. Pitts and Hurst almost sharing equal. I'm not sure people had thought that, but it wouldn't surprise me that continues so the pie can get split. Ridley's 36%, not bad. Gage at 29. So these were the top two. I think that was probably not a surprise there. Baltimore, Tyson Williams and Patrick Richard there. Murray, I think all this is in flux. Cannon's off. He's gone. They got rid of him. So I think, so is it going to be a 1A, B, C? Is it going to be a 1A, 1B? I know a lot of people may have invested some serious bucks here. I probably would have been a little bit more cautious. Andrews, nice snaps percentage, but didn't do anything with it. Watkins, what a surprise. Over Hollywood Brown and Devin here. So it's almost looking like a 1A, B, and maybe 2 or C, 1C. I don't know. That I don't like to see the third guy getting as much as the second. So, and Watkins, there's no way he's going to beat Hollywood Brown out eventually, but he could be right there with him. Looks like they're trying to pass more. This is very intriguing. Watch this. Buffalo, Singletary, and Breida was there. Singletary dominated. Knox, obviously, dominant. And just didn't do a lot for us. Could have done better. Sanders, Diggs, Beasley. 1A, B, and C. That is not our friend if we spend a lot of capital on Diggs. Okay, so now he's going to have to compete in a 3-way slot. That's not good. I think if I'd known that before, I mean, if this continues, Diggs would have not been as high, or shouldn't have been as high. I don't know. Week 1. I know. People want to go crazy. Beasley and Sanders were probably pretty good choices if they can stay in this mix here. Carolina, McCaffrey's, Chuba Herbert is number 2. I guess the handcuff. The tight ends, Arnold, Thomas, looks like they're splitting, so there's probably nothing there. DJ Moore and Anderson, 1A, 1B, with the rookie clear number 2 or 3. So probably not surprised. I think people might have been more surprised. I'm not. Montgomery and Damian Williams, look at that. Williams could be a play. He's somebody I targeted on the waiver wire. He might be available. Just Just keep him there if you got a deep bench. Kmet's the way to go there for tight end. I'm not sure you'll get something every week, but Moody, Allen, 1A, 1B. Didn't score a lot, but I think the possibility, don't give up on Mooney yet. Mixon, Sabaji P. Ryan's the backup. Uzama and Sample looks like they're going to split time. That doesn't help. Chase might have been a surprise. Okay. Dominant here at 36. So it looks like a 1 and a 2A, 2B scenario. I don't think we drafted Higgins to be a 2A. So Chase is probably a surprise for you. Chubb and Hunt, probably no surprise there. Hooper and Njoku, notice the split. Cleveland loves take some good players and split them up to confound fantasy players, and here they do it. Landry and People-Jones, 38-35. I know OBJ's coming back, so maybe this goes down, but keep an eye on this cat if OBJ's out. Looks like this guy's viable here is a number 2. Elliott, Pollard, the backup. Schultz and Jarwin looks like they're going to split, so that kind of hurts each one. Cooper, Lamb, Gallup in that order. Gallup's hurt, so Wilson moves up. Maybe in a DFS play, reaching. I don't know. Could slip up. I think Cooper and Lamb, they're the 1-2. Probably 1A, 1B. Javonte Williams and Gordon, I don't think people expected a 50-50 split. If you drafted Gordon, you didn't. If you drafted Javonte, you didn't. And this is what you got. Fant versus Albert. Come on. Release Fant here. I think he should have more targets. Judy's hurt, so certainly puts Patrick in the mix. Hamler moves up to the 3. Sutton, Patrick, Hamler. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Swift, 66. Jamal Williams, 34. He's probably not there, but he's going to have independent value. Hawkinson did well. Okay, his backup would be Fells. Okay. Khalif Raymond, he is the number 1. Amon-Ra, number 2. I thought everybody was thinking Terrell Williams and Cephas. Boy, that's a mixed up deal. Look at that. 13-28. It's almost a 5-way split here in some of the ways. You're going to have to wait to see where this sifts out right now. I would not invest too heavily here. Looks like a platoon. I don't know what to say about this team. Aaron, Dillon, and Hill split. 52% was not Jones. We didn't draft Aaron Jones to not be the top dog, so this is concerning. Tanyan, I would have thought he would have been over 50. Not happy to see 42. Adams, Lazard, MVS are the same player? What the hell? We did not draft Devontae Adams to be 1A, 1B, and 1C in this mix. That's not, boy, Green Bay needs to, I hope this is just a fluke, but right now, those of us, myself included, who took Devontae Adams sure got a sock in the mouth here. Not good. Houston, Miracle, Tyrod Taylor, Ingram. Boy, he's a slow plotter, but I guess he's better than Jones and Lindsey, I guess. Still looks like it's a platoon here. But I mean, if you can get Ingram on the cheap in redraft, okay, I wouldn't take him dynasty, but this year, cheap. Deep bench, folks. Deep bench. Favor Brown Atkins looks like it's almost a even split. A little bit higher for Favor Brown. Curious to see how he works out. Houston has a tendency to use its tight ends, so keep him on your radar for streaming. Cook's really nice. I drafted him early and often. 38% share. Love that. Nicole and Conley looks like they're splitting. Amendola, boy, got him back. He kind of confounds things a little bit, but definitely like Cooks for sure. Taylor and Hines, almost an even split. I don't think when you drafted Taylor, you didn't think Hines. You were thinking more 65-35. This is closer than I think you wanted. Doyle and Ollie Cox, about 50-50. Probably cuts their value. Pittman didn't do well too much, but hey, he's 35%. Pascal, the surprise, looks like the 1A, 1B. Campbell, we were expecting him to be above Pascal, so be cautious in here. James Robinson versus Hyde, 65%. That's good, but I don't know if that's where you drafted him. You know, if you were zero running back play, I don't know. Hyde being 35 is good. O'Shaughnessy dominating the tight end. It's just like all the other tight ends. Okay? After you get through the big ones, you just, hope and pray for a touchdown. Marvin Jones, Shark, Chanel, pretty much 1A, B, and C. Who has the hot hand this week is what you're going to play with. If you got Jones later than Shark and Chanel, that was probably good. I would not have invested heavily in any of those and did not. Solaire, 67%, pretty good. Just not sure he got as much scoring, but they have a problem with scoring and rushing in Kansas City. Loves their tight end. Kelsey at 63. Looks like Mike Bell's his backup if you got a deep bench and got Kelsey. Hill, DeMarcus Robinson, and Hardman, 1 and 2A, 2B. Their snaps are closer than I would have thought. I think Hill was less than I would have thought, so I'm a little PO'd by that because we didn't draft Hill to be at 34% snap. Okay, we want to be at 45%, so that's not good. Chargers, Eckler, 53, round 225, and look, they even used this. So 47% of the time it wasn't Eckler. That's not what we wanted Eckler to be. Cook and Parham, 50-50. What is this? You didn't draft Cook to share time with Parham. He's probably the pass blocker. I hope Cook's the catching one. Allen and Williams. If Williams continues, he was the better play than Allen because he was cheaper. Guyton is definitely the injury handcuff to any one of those, and both of those have had injuries, so he might be a play on your deep bench. Just keep your eyes on him. That's a nice bit there. That's not shabby in somebody that's probably out there for everybody to grab. Henderson, 94. Michelle, that's pretty low. You would think Michelle's going to get closer to 30%. So we'll see. Higbee, 73%. Nice. That's what you want him to do. It's just we need some scores there, right? Cup, Woods, Van Jefferson. I think Van Jefferson was higher than we thought. And Woods, we would have thought closer to Cup. I mean, pretty close, but Cup is dominating at 35%. I could see this could be some situation here where this could flip around. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's all I want to talk about there. Okay. Raiders, Carr's looking good. Jacobs and Drake, 50-50. What the hell? Not good. Waller, yeah, 60%. Yes. Exactly what you drafted Waller for. Edwards, Ruggs, Renfro. Renfro's a little high for me, but the other two seem nothing here seems unusual at this point. I do note Zay Jones here at 20, so just Renfro would probably be the next man up if one of these two got hurt. So just if you got a deep bench and you're playing this game with them, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you are, then these would be the backups. Miami, Gaskin, Brown at 29. Not a lot of snaps to begin with, but almost 50% of the time it wasn't Gaskin, so that's not good. Don't like that. Didn't take Gaskin to be, I would have wanted him to be 60, 65, 70. Grosecki, 21. This Durham, I guess he's the blocking one here, but still, come on, man. As good as Hunter Long and Carter? What? I had Gesicki a lot of places as my tight end too. Not good. That doesn't look. These numbers don't suggest a strong tight end too. So hopefully things change. Parkin, Waddle, Waddle, I guess. 50-50, that seems right. I think when Fuller comes in, just be aware. Does Fuller knock Wilson down and become the number 3? I don't know. Just be aware that this is, well, of course, it's week 1. Be aware things are going to shift. Yeah, let's say that. Cook, 58. Ham. Boy, Adula. Yeah, I'm glad Cook's there. I'd like to have been higher. Conklin, clearly the dominant. Okay. Thielen, Jefferson, Osborne. So there is a deep bench pickup right there and an injury handcuff right here. KJ Osborne. I will be collecting him in many places because I have leagues that have a deep bench. So there you go. You've heard it here first. New England, Harris and White seems about right. Just some of those other bit players everybody was talking about. Stevenson, 5 snaps. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Smith and Henry, cut your throat if you please. Look at this. So sad. One or the other would have been great. Now we all lose. Myers, nice. And then Aguilar. So those are the plays right there. Bourne, not too enthusiastic, but he's the 3. New Orleans, Tony Jones at 27, clear back up. Kamara, I love to see closer to 65 to 70. Troutman, big snaps, but Juwan scored. So what? I would be cautious. I don't think I would invest right now until I saw how this was going to shape. Callaway, to me, the numbers say keep him, take him. Harris, I guess, will be number 2 for a while, so that's probably a a deep play because I think Kamara, Jones, maybe one of the tight ends in Callaway. So that's be the fifth choice, or little Jordan, Cogan. So I'm not picking those up. I will pick up Callaway if somebody drops him. Daniel Jones looking good for the Giants. Saquon and Booker. So I think Saquon is still not 100%. So that explains some of the issue. 45-38, just be aware. Booker's definitely the handcuff. So if you got Barkley, I'd have Booker. Rudolph, until Ingram gets back, just not sure how dynamic he is left in the tank here. Shepard, Galladay, nice. Shepard above Galladay. So Shepard was definitely a play. I was fortunate to draft him in many leagues. I thought that was free candy. So I'm pleased. I was pleased by week 1. Slayton, he's right there with them. So he could be a deep stash bench play. I'll pick him up if I can't find anybody else. The Jets, Ty Johnson looks like the dog. It's just Carter and Coleman splitting for second round. I don't know who the backup is. Everybody's predicting Carter will take over Coleman. But remember, people were thinking it was Coleman for a while, then Carter. Nobody was even talking about Ty Johnson, and all of a sudden he comes out of the gate. I would pick Ty Johnson up. I just don't know who to pick up his backup. Croft looks pretty good, but so does Ryan Griffin, so I'm not sure what's there for you. I guess Croft. Oh, my bad. Well, anyway, you can look at that. Philadelphia, Sanders and Gainwell. Gainwell is a key backup that may have independent value at 35%. I am picking him up, especially if I have Sanders. Pick him up now. Goddard and Ertz. Goddard and Ertz. About 50-50. I picked up both. Concerned about Ertz. I don't know if he's going to get his split. Devonta Smith, the rookie, coming out. Nice. Rager, nice. The slot guy, Watkins, probably a deep play and a pickup if you own any one of these two and have high hopes for Philadelphia. Then I guess you got to pick him up. Roethlisberger, Harris at 94%. Looks like Derek Watt is the pickup for the handcuff. So I guess if I had Harris, I'd want to have him if you got a deep bench. Don't know on the tight end. Ebron, I would have thought would have been much higher. I'm not sure any is usable until somebody's injured. Juju, Devontae, and Claypool. I think people had Johnson, Claypool, Schuster, so this was a little flippy. Be aware that Washington is a deep, deep stash just in case any one of those get hurt, because he is dynamic as those guys and could be worth a play down the road. Just, I don't know when. Could be. Seattle did well. Carson, 78. Penny's out. So is it Dallas now or Homer? I don't know who the backup is. Everett and Disley. Everett, I think he scored, but looked like 50-50. So that may be just a fluke. I'm not sure how deep I get into picking up Everett. Metcalf and Lockett, I would have hoped they'd been closer to 40%. But still, they both did well. Lockett really did well. I just would like to see more numbers. Nothing surprising here. I picked up Lockett probably more than Metcalf because he was a little cheaper. But he's probably more inconsistent, so I guess you get what you pay for. San Francisco, Elijah Mitchell, let's throw all our fab at him. He's at 47%, didn't even break 50%, folks. I would not have put all my eggs in his basket. I put about 30% and didn't get him anywhere. That's fine. I hope people do well with him. Okay. Kittle is what Kittle does and dominant, so just hopefully he has a good game. Debo really turned it on, and Ayuk really sunk back in with the other ones here. So it looks like a strong 1A, strong 1, and then a 3A, B, and C. That's what I think you see. You don't even have a 2 here. So I guess if you think Garofalo is going to keep delivering, then maybe Sherfield, maybe. If he's, I don't know. Not sure. I would think how I played this. I think if I had Samuel, I would mess with it. But if you don't, and you got a deep bench, you might be able to collect some of those. Who knows what happens. Fournette at 65. Ronald Jones got in the doghouse, and supposedly he's the starter. I don't believe that. Yeah, he may be out there for the first play. This is going to be a mess, but it looks like they really have confidence in Fournette for ball control. And unfortunately, I took Jones over the Fournette. I made the wrong choice, I suspect. I'm holding Jones, not getting rid of him, but not happy either. Gronk, pleasant surprise, obviously, when you catch that many. O.J. Howard at 6 snaps. Is he injured? What is going on? Because Gronk, if he gets injured, who's next man up? Bright? Is he the one to stash if you have Gronk? I don't know. That's confusing. Want a couple more weeks. Hopefully Gronk stays healthy the whole season. But if he doesn't, I need some more data before I choose my backup. Godwin and Evans, 50-50. Love to see this above 40 each. Brown horning in at 24. Probably not a surprise how this played out here at all. Tennessee, Henry at 56. McNichols at 30. McNichols may be a surprise play, especially if you have Henry. He might be an essential handcuff. Fisker and Swain, looks like almost the same, so that's bad. I was hoping Anthony would beat Jeff there, but looks like that's not to be. Brown, Jones, 50-50, no surprise. Chester Rogers, come on, man. I guess Chester Rogers, not happy about it, but I guess he's the backup injury because Jones usually gets injured. Brown could get injured. So I guess he might be a deep stash as well. Don't know about this Westbrook. I actually need to go find a little bit more information on him. So I suggest you hunt him down a little bit. Washington, Patrick is out. Taylor is Gibson, 60%. I was hoping for more, but take 60. McKissick, 33. Yeah, I think I'll hold on to him, but I wish I could got more out of him. Logan Thomas, 82. That is nice. And, if you picked up Logan Thomas as your one, that might be viable this year. McLaurin, Dynamic Brown, almost 50-50 with Humphreys. Humphreys may be a surprise injury, wide receiver 3 type. You have a deep bench, he could be worth a stash. Yep. Okay, I think that's all my team levels. Okay, so what I did, I went to the positions and sorted by player snap percentage just for us to scan, just to kind of get a feel for the landscape. Not making any big conclusions here, just kind of looking down to see what's what. I would have thought Eckler would have been higher. Ty Johnson to me is a surprise. Carson 78, that's not bad. I don't think he was thought to be that high. Of course, Singletary, big surprise. Nothing really else, but again, just look and peruse. And I graphed for you. It looks like 50 snap levels in pink, so you can see above that and whatnot. I think that's fine. Player snap percentage. Just kind of peruse a little bit, and you can see anybody above 50 snaps needs to get your look. Here's the next ones here. Probably more disappointed with Jones. Look at that. If you look at ADP, he's a big time disappointment week one. Saquon, maybe he's injured. Hate to see Chubb down there at 44. Just keep going a little bit. Here's some more data. Notice nobody's above. Looks like 40 in this. So was it Josh Jacobs here, and it looks like Richard and Drake are, and maybe who is this? Harris. So those are the top 4 in this group of running backs. That's interesting. Tight ends, snap share, Knox, Conklin, Logan Thomas, nice. Higbee, don't give up on him. Hawkinson, nice. So really, Gronk might have been the biggest surprise there. O'Shaughnessy's nice. I mean, there's some good ones in there. I would have liked Waller to have been higher than 59. You can see, here's everybody above 50. A lot of tight ends above the 50 snap. Waller really stands out, and so does TJ. So those might be, top plays there. That's nice. Jarwin, Cook, 44. I think there's more disappointments here. This Brown guy at 42. Keep your eye. Tanyan, I would have want that to be higher. Ertz, I would have wanted him to be higher. Nothing really. I think Ebron was kind of a letdown. Looks like fate. Look at him. He's sitting above here, folks. In a tight end premium league, he may be worth a stash or a stream. Okay, so see where he sits above the crowd. Wide receivers, notice that the snap percentages for wide receivers tend to be much lower because, right, each team has 3 or 4 going. So you have to rethink your scale, but Callaway sits above them all, folks. So don't drop him. Myers, don't drop him. Okay, take a look at some of the top. Watkins, a big surprise here. Okay, so just take a look at some of the top plays. Here's the ones above the 50 snaps. Nice here with Myers. Nice here with Pittman. Nice here with Mooney. So don't give up on all these cats here. But notice this line is almost flat. So that's why they say you can draft later and have a significant wide receiver. So next year, just remember this. Notice the skew of the tight ends and the running backs. Notice the lack of skew here. And I talked about that in my lessons, folks. Here's some more. Just look, see who's who. Jefferson, nice number, but he's sharing his time there. Galladay at 52, nice number, but not a lot of snaps. So you're looking for high snaps, high percent, right? I mean, obviously. Again, looking for some of these that are way above the crew. Thielen, Cooper, Jefferson, right? Jones, Pascal's a big surprise. Keenan Allen probably not. So those are some interesting plays there. Like Osborne, 67 snaps, 28%. I like that. Raymond, he might be the top dog in Detroit. Don't know. Keep your eyes on that. Sanders, Diggs, keep your eyes out. Here's some of these outliers. Just keep your eyes open. You got the data now. Make little check boxes here. Gallup, nice, but I think he got hurt. Paris. Here's another one on Detroit here, 49. Gabriel Davis, 43. Take a look. Gallup almost. Benson almost. Campbell almost. So just